Job, chapter 33.
Job, listen to me. Pay close attention. Everything I will say is true and sincere, just as surely as the Spirit of God, all-powerful, gave me the breath of life. Now line up your arguments and prepare to face me. We each were made from clay, and God has no favorites. So don't be afraid of me or what I might do. I have heard you argue that you are innocent, guilty of nothing. You claim that God has made you his enemy, that he has bound your feet and blocked your path. But Job, you're wrong. God is greater than any human. So why do you challenge God to answer you? God speaks in different ways, and we don't always recognize his voice. Sometimes in the night, he uses terrifying dreams to give us warnings. God does this to make us turn from sin and pride, and to protect us from being swept away to the world of the dead. Sometimes we are punished with a serious illness and aching joints. Merely the thought of our favorite food makes our stomachs sick, and we become so skinny that our bones stick out. We feel death and the grave taking us in their grip. One of 1,000 angels then comes to our rescue by saying we are innocent. The angel shows kindness, commanding death to release us, because the price was paid. Our health is restored, we feel young again, and we ask God to accept us. Then we joyfully worship God, and we are rewarded because we are innocent. When that happens, we tell everyone, I sinned and did wrong, but God forgave me and rescued me from death. Now I will see the light. God gives each of us chance after chance to be saved from death and brought into the light that gives life. So Job, pay attention and don't interrupt, though I would gladly listen to anything you say that proves you are right. Otherwise, listen in silence to my wisdom.
Job, chapter 34. Elihu said,
You men think you are wise, but just listen to me. Think about my words as you would taste food. Then we can decide the case and give a just verdict. Job claims that he is innocent and God is guilty of mistreating him. Job also argues that God considers him a liar and that he is suffering severely in spite of his innocence. But to tell the truth, Job is shameless. He spends his time with sinners because he has said it doesn't pay to please God. If any of you are smart, you will listen and learn that God all-powerful does what is right. God always treats everyone the way they deserve, and he is never unfair. From the very beginning, God has been in control of all the world. If God took back the breath that he breathed into us, we humans would die and return to the soil. So be smart and listen. The mighty God is the one who brings about justice, and you are condemning him. Indeed, God is the one who condemns unfair rulers. And God created us all. He has no favorites, whether rich or poor. Even powerful rulers die in the darkness of night when they least expect it, just like the rest of us. God watches everything we do. No evil person can hide in the deepest darkness. And so, God doesn't need to set a time for judgment. Without asking for advice, God removes mighty leaders and puts others in their place. He knows what they're like, and he wipes them out in the middle of the night. And while others look on, he punishes them because they were evil and refused to obey him. The persons they mistreated had prayed for help until God answered their prayers. When God does nothing, can any person or nation find fault with him? But still, he punishes rulers who abuse their people. Job, you should tell God that you are guilty and promise to do better. Then ask him to point out what you did wrong so you won't do it again. Do you make the rules or does God? You have to decide. I can't do it for you. Now make up your mind. Job, Anyone with good sense can easily see that you are speaking nonsense and lack good judgment. So I pray for you to suffer as much as possible for talking like a sinner. You have rebelled against God time after time, and have even insulted us.
Job, chapter 35. Elihu said,
Job, are you really innocent in the sight of God? Don't you honestly believe it pays to obey him? I will give the answers to you and your friends. Look up to the heavens and think. Do your sins hurt God? Is any good you may have done at all helpful to him? The evil or good you do only affects other humans. In times of trouble, everyone begs the mighty God to have mercy. But after their Creator helps them through hard times, they forget about him, though he makes us wiser than animals or birds. God won't listen to the prayers of proud and evil people. If God all-powerful refuses to answer their empty prayers, he will surely deny your impatient request to face him in court. Job, you were wrong to say God doesn't punish sin. Everything you have said adds up to nonsense.
Job, chapter 36. Elihu said,
Be patient a while longer. I have something else to say in God's defense. God always does right, and this knowledge comes straight from God. You can rest assured that what I say is true. Although God is mighty, he cares about everyone and makes fair decisions. The wicked are cut down, and those who are wronged receive justice. God watches over good people and places them in positions of power and honor forever. But when people are prisoners of suffering and pain, God points out their sin and their pride. Then he warns them to turn back to him. And if they obey, they will be successful and happy from then on. But if they foolishly refuse, they will be rewarded with a violent death. Godless people are too angry to ask God for help when he punishes them, so they die young in shameful disgrace. Hard times and trouble are God's way of getting our attention. And at this very moment, God deeply desires to lead you from trouble and to spread your table with your favorite food. Now that the judgment for your sins has fallen upon you, don't let your anger and the pain you endured make you sneer at God. Your reputation and riches cannot protect you from distress, nor can you find safety in the dark world below. Be on guard. Don't turn to evil as a way of escape. God's power is unlimited. He needs no teachers to guide or correct him. Others have praised God for what he has done, so join with them. From down here on earth, everyone has looked up and seen how great God is. God is more than we imagine. No one can count the years he has lived. God gathers moisture into the clouds and supplies us with rain. Who can understand how God scatters the clouds and speaks from his home in the thunderstorm? And when God sends lightning, it can be seen at the bottom of the sea. By producing such rainstorms, God rules the world and provides us with food. Each flash of lightning is one of his arrows striking its target, and the thunder tells of his anger against sin.